Okay everybody, this is your favorite Shogun here, Sugi, and today, as previously promised, I will be reviewing the Starship Troopers Invasion, a 2012 3D CGI anime film by Shinji Aramaki, which obviously is the fourth installment in the Starship Troopers film series. And obviously this was done partially in Japan. Obviously everything with the CGI and the animation is done in Japan, but the audio is actually English voiced. I'm not actually sure does a Japanese dub exist for this one. In case you know, please leave a comment down below. But I did watch it on the English version, which I kind of feel is the proper way to do it. Now obviously there's a sequel film to this, Starship Troopers Traitor of Mars, which I will be reviewing probably in a week or so after I've seen it. Now obviously, as I kind of said on my previous review, the second and third Starship Troopers films were pretty bad. Now luckily Invasion is a lot more closer to the first film, at least compared to the second one, but this still kind of like feels to me more akin, I guess, to the books, that there was no like propaganda speeches or these type of comedic, things and segments that the first and the third film, especially for example, had. So I mean, all of these movies ever since the first one and obviously the OVA have been a kind of like a mixed bag, but the Invasion for its time, which is 2012, actually does look pretty good. The CGI, you can find this film by the way on YouTube in case you want to watch it, but like, which is still like somewhat compressed quality, but it looks pretty good for its time. Like the scenery, the suits, everything, they look pretty good. Now the story takes place on an asteroid, the Terran Federation's 4th KC, which is crawling with bug, and the Starship Alesia is basically deploying the Mobile Infantry troopers by a dropship to seize and control the hangar and rescue any of the survivors, basically. And well, a bunch of shit goes down, and later on, the team is basically, sent to this starship known as John A. Warden, which, idiot as I am, I thought they were talking about a person for a good while of the movie until they actually landed on that it was actually a ship. Because to my credit, not a great ship name. And then they, face a lot of bugs, and basically, a lot of action will ensue. So this is a very action-oriented movie compared to the third or the second movie or the OVAs, and even the first movie. This is like pure action film in a lot of ways, and you can appreciate that. But they did kind of miss on certain things, like the General Johnny Rico is obviously making a cameo here, but he is not voiced by, the original voice actor. He is voicing in the next movie, which I haven't seen, it's the Traitor of Mars. So, I mean, he was involved with the production of this film, but he was not reprising his role and voicing out the character, which, in my opinion, would have been a great homage, or not a homage, but like, it could have brought some believability to this film, fundamentally. Now, it introduces a bunch of new characters. I'd found Johnny Rico, which is, by the way, not the main character, but he kind of becomes one, kind of ironically in the end, somewhat, and you will know if you have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. And so, here we're going to be going in a bit of the spoiler category. So, all of these characters that are basically introduced, there's around 12 minor characters, and you got some shower scenes. Obviously you gotta have in all of the Starship Troopers movies and films, you gotta have your shower scenes, and I guess it's good fan service for people who are interested in that. I don't care personally, but the problem is, the good way to tell somebody is bad at writing is that they want to use time travel mechanisms. That's one way to show. Another one is to just kill off all your fucking characters. You kill off your cast, in the end, and that's why all the bad directors, direct horror movies, because the ending is always the same. Everybody fucking dies, or one is alive, or stays alive, or two people at tops stay alive, but mostly, almost everyone die. And basically, that's where the faulty of the Invasion basically starts, where it's just everyone basically dies at the end, and I'm thinking what's this really important to build all of these character relationships, all of this new main character, they get introduced Carmen kind of being one of the main characters, but I think Henry Varro is the new main character in this film, and he just gets he dies, okay, he fucking dies in the end, and what's the point of introducing new characters in case you already like know, I don't know if when they were making this film that they were going to be doing a sequel at some point, but like you kind of want to build characters who are going to be alive for future installations of your IP, and it's just not like very good writing. But I mean, I don't really have like multitude of million thoughts to say about this, film. I guess it was done partially to shill the mobile games, the Invasion Mobile Infantry, which was released on App Store. I don't know how well that basically did, but they had these, they were marketing this at E3, for example. Like, here's a picture, but I thought, it was okay action film, but it had a bit of like, it's really bad action film when you lose interest of following things. Like things have become like uninteresting to follow, or it's just not like very enticing plot, or the characters are not enticing enough. And there were some new bug types, or not necessarily new bug types, but we saw multitude of different bug types explored again, which was a plus. So we just didn't have these arachnids going around. You had a bit of a mother arachnid again, basically, or mother bug, whatever you want to call him, kind of akin to the third movie. But that was okay-ish, But overall, like, it's sad to see that they haven't really been able to. Partially, it's a budget issue, but the first film, I wish they would bring it kind of back. All of those elements that made the first film good ideas, all the comedy, and the characters, and all the elements that really made the first movie the fan favorite, obviously. But who knows, the Traitor of Mars might be worse, at least do the IMDb ratings it is. So we will see if it will turn out to be good or bad, in my opinion. But at least it has Johnny Rico as a main character, apparently, voiced by the original actor, Casper Van Dien. So that's good. That's at least a positive. But Invasion, sadly, just, didn't feel like a very integral part about the major storyline or the story as a whole. And that's the problem, because the source material doesn't really go onwards. You don't have anything else to adapt, so you have to make your own, but basically stories. But still, we have to talk about like the animation aspect here. The CGI here is still very ahead of its time, and Shinji Aramaki is kind of like the household name, in terms of that. Like, he knows his stuff in that technology, and he's been doing that for a very long time before the other studios started to experiment with CGI, and they have not done it really that well. Toei has, managed to produce some good stuff, but for the most part, the 3D CGI scene is still very small in Japan, and I would argue that they don't play around with technology that really well. But I don't really have any else to add here, so no point in making the review any longer than it is. But it was what it was. I guess, I can put it on a background of a film, while eating something, chips or something. Well, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the Traitor of Mars review coming out later on, probably this month. Thanks for watching. I will be seeing you next time.